They're lining up, camping out and getting ready to swear allegiance to King Charles III.
It's just an experience money cannot buy. And you're right outside of Buckingham Palace. There's beds.
How do you manage camping out? Toilets and things?
Well, there'll be toilets, hopefully, otherwise there's trees.
It's just great to be among the atmosphere and just meet up with my friends and enjoy our passion of the royal family.
Front of the queue, Anthony Albanese, pictured shaking his monarch's hand for the very first time and sidestepping questions from right-wing firebrand Piers Morgan about his loyalty to royalty.
As the Prime Minister of Australia in the Abbey on Saturday, you will say the oath.
As the Prime Minister of Australia, it's expected that I will do that.
Fielding queries about the push for a republic.
Would you like it to happen under your tenure?
What I don't want to do is to be a Prime Minister who presides over just constitutional debates.
But that's not the only bomb going off.
So I'm very sorry to say that it is good evening for me for the time being, as I think that was probably a controlled explosion in the background.
Indeed, it was a controlled explosion of suspected shotgun cartridges that were thrown into the grounds of Buckingham Palace.
A man was arrested this evening.
The man also had what police describe as a suspicious bag.
The King and Queen weren't home. So, with just 3 days until around 250,000 people descend to see the King crowned, can the UK keep calm and carry on?
What do you make of King Charles?
Yeah, I don't mind Charlie.
God save the King and keep continuing the good work, sir.
Ahoy, hoy, it's reporter Bronte Coy. Bronte, thanks very much for joining us. You were nearby when that controlled explosion happened. What was that like?
It was pretty chaotic at first, actually. So I'd been at Buckingham Palace earlier in the day. There was such a carnival atmosphere. There was a real growing excitement. And I was staying only a few hundred metres nearby. So when we heard the reports that the explosion had occurred and no one really knew what had happened, I, of course, went down to find out. And it was a very tight security operation. All the media had been evacuated. So it was a really sombre atmosphere down there at Buckingham Palace and so different from what it had been earlier in the day. It was a bit eerie.
I can imagine. But, how real is the concern about a genuine security threat surrounding the coronation now?
Well, very real. It was such a pertinent reminder that we're just days away from what's going to be one of the biggest events that Britain's seen, and it's a huge security operation. But these things, they always draw out people that, may not be the ones that you want in the centre of huge public events, as we've seen last night. And it was just that reminder that despite all the excitement, there are going to be so many dignitaries in town. There are so many royals travelling from overseas and, of course, the royals that we have here in Britain. So it was a really strong reminder of that. But I will say that the police presence here and the security presence is everywhere and getting bigger every day.
Bronte, we're seeing images of fans lining the streets, but tell me, I'm an average person, tell me, does the average person really care?
I mean, if you're the average person, why don't you answer your own question?
Well, I just want Bronte to tell me what to feel.
I can tell you what to feel. So I was out talking to a lot of British people yesterday just to find out whether they're going to watch the coronation, whether they care. I can tell you that a lot of people do care, but that's not really from the younger generations. Actually, 100% of the people I spoke to below 40 simply weren't even going to watch the event. They were just excited to have a day off. So that was interesting, especially considering if you don't have royal fever right now in London, then you're probably never, ever going to have it. So that's probably a bit concerning for Charles. But look, they're excited to have a long weekend. But it's certainly the older people, they're very excited. They're going to be heading down to places along the procession route. They're going to head down and try to see a glimpse of the royals. So there is that excitement there, but it does appear to be a generational divide.
Bronte, what Charles does have in his corner is that the people that love the royals really love the royal. Like, it's weird. Like, what's the weirdest bit of memorabilia you've seen out there?
There's a lot of weird memorabilia, let me tell you. It is everywhere. This whole city is really turning it on. There's been Charles and Camilla cardboard cutouts in basically every storefront. It's really confronting to turn around and just see them standing there. But probably the weirdest thing I saw was I saw two people probably about 70 and they were wearing band T-shirts with Charles's face on it, which it's not a clean fit, I don't think. I don't know, I wasn't expecting that. I actually want to find one now, though. Buy one for myself.
These life-size cutouts, Bronte, do they speak to you?
I'll be bringing one home to put in my living room, so I hope my family's watching.
Wow.
That will be decorating our living room.
Can you grab me a commemorative tea towel as well? Love one of those.
I have had so many requests to pick up commemorative tea towels. There'll be none left. But yes, absolutely, Sarah, I'll get one for you.
Anything you want, Sam?
Well, I'll take a cutout if they're going. Like, I didn't know we're doing a shopping list.
While we're on it, Bronte, my dogs have requested some royal dog food. Is that on the cards?
Oh.
They actually have, these pet stores have so many Coronation treats, dog toys, the whole bit. One of my colleagues actually picked up a few of them. So listen, guys, send me a list. I'll sort it out.
Great. Excellent. More than just a reporter, Bronte. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks.
You know who else is really keen for a commemorative tea towel? Nick Cave. He's
Really?
part of the official Australian delegation, along with the Matilda star Sam Kerr, Adam Hills, comedy legend, is going as well.
Australian who happens to be in the UK.
Pretty much.
Saving on flights and accommodation.
Cost of living pressures. Who's around? Bring him in.
He says he's not a monarchist at all, but he has an inexplicable emotional attachment to royalty, which I love.
I really love his explanation. So he gave quite a full statement about why he's accepting this invitation.
Yeah.
He says he's not really an ardent Republican either, but he says, what I am also not is so spectacularly incurious about the world and the way it works, so ideologically captured, so damn grouchy as to refuse an invitation to what will, more than likely, be the most important historical event in the UK of our age. Not just the most important, but the strangest, the weirdest.
Wow.
And isn't that the best reason you could come up with to accept an invitation?
Well, that's the most elegant way I've ever heard someone accepting a free meal. That's definitely... Oh, it's going to be weird. Oh, what's that? A scone? Terrific. Thank you.
For the free cucumber sandwiches. He's also met the Queen. He met the Queen when she was still with us and said that she was almost extraterrestrial-like and the most charismatic woman he's ever met.
Wow. You called the Queen an alien.
Wow, OK.
In the nicest possible way.
One for the conspiracy theorists.